all the brothers and the sisters, cooling out, having fun, drinking yayan with Yahweh Shai up in the kingdom, yeah.
Who are we? Israel! That who are we? Israel! Can't hear you.
Israel.
Who's the power?
Yahweh Bahashim, Yahweh Shai's the power, yeah.
Said, who's the power?
Yahweh Bahashim, Yahweh Shai's the power, yeah. I'm chilling.
No, my bad. With S.O.W, Soul, Stream of Wisdom. We are located here in Houston, Texas. The school address is 231 FM 1092. Stafford, Texas, 77477 is the zip code. The class times and days is Mondays, Wednesdays from 7 to 9 p.m., Fridays from 6 to 8, Saturday from 10 a.m. to about 2 p.m. And we got a school in Virginia. Address out there is 2610 Grammy Street, Norfolk, Virginia. Zip code 23517. Class times and days is Tuesdays and Thursdays and Fridays from 7 to 9. And Friday from, no, it's actually not 7 to 9. It's actually from 8 to 10 Eastern Time. Saturday from 10 a.m. to about 2 p.m. We have the school in Rochester. The address is 1600 Lyle Ave, Suite 1A, East Tuesday in San Antonio. Address 4444 Walsham Road, Suite 201, San Antonio, Texas. Zip code 78218. Class times and days, Mondays and Wednesdays and Fridays from 7:30 to about 10:30. Saturday from 10 a.m. to about 4. That's Central Time. We ask that you like, share, and subscribe to all these YouTube channels. Like, share, and subscribe to the Blog Talk Radio that Mashaba does every morning. And like, share, and subscribe to the 5 Minutes of Wisdom, the Hidden Truth Bible Show, the Israelite Media Corp. Like, share, and subscribe to all these channels. We do kids class every Sunday here in Houston at 2 p.m. Like, share, and subscribe to that, to the kids class. And of course, if you'd like to get a nice garment made, you can get your garment made through Israelwear. And we got, what, like a month and a half now? We got about a month and a half.
Something like that, yep. No one's,
Until September 30th
no one's counting.
to get your payments in.
I ain't counting.
To get your payments in. It is about a month and a half, yeah. You got about a month and a half to get your payments in for the garments. And, yeah. And here in Houston, man, we do the Hebrew Academy every Tuesday. And then we do it in Virginia and Rochester every Monday. If you'd like to contact the priest, you got Priest Quatazat to my left. His number is 303-557-8979. Kazaka's number is 757-300-4047. We ask that you text only during class. And if you'd like to support the business is sweetarmyards.com. You can hop on Chosen Creations on Etsy and check out, get something nice and get something nice made, something custom made, something unique. And if you'd like to help out the school, all the donations is welcome and needed. Definitely welcome and needed. So if you'd like to help out the school, the links are on the screen. With that, would like to say that's it for the announcements. Would like to put it up for class.
Yeah, how's everybody feeling?
Wow.
Good. So this one should make you feel a little bit better. To add to your tawabness, right? So I was saying,
And if you'd like to help out the school
on Monday was it Monday? That I wanted to start doing like a series of health classes and like to start focusing on like certain issues or just give a little wisdom on certain things that we deal with. Go a little like we always do health classes, right? And we generalize the topic, but we never really go into like certain health issues. Right, a lot of women suffer from certain things, and they tell you, well, that's just a condition that women suffer from. A lot of men suffer from things, and they just say, well, it's because of this. But through my research, through a lot of things that I've been looking into, a lot of 99% of the things that we deal with on a physical level from our bodies, it stems from our diet. So what I want to talk about today, yes, it's going to be a health class. It's going to be a little bit general. It's going to be general, but I just want to talk about physical health in general, right? And just go over a few scriptures, you know what I'm saying? That way, when we start getting into these topics, we can understand a little bit more of what we're dealing with. So I got a question for y'all, though, if y'all don't mind. When it comes to, well, first and foremost, does anybody have like any physical attitude to the class? Does anybody have any physical goals? Some type of weight loss, some type of eating program, some type of just nutritional goals that you're trying to get yourself on? Right? Now, right? She back there, hand up, right? Now, a lot of the times we look at having goals and nutritional goals as it's a reactive type of thing, right? Oh, I'm feeling this type of way, so I got to go on a fast. You always hear that, like, man, I'm feeling sluggish, I got to get on a fast. Man, I'm feeling like this, I got to get on a fast. Man, I got to cut out the meat. I got to cut out. We always react to symptoms, and hopefully, after we go through, just even this class, we can see that we shouldn't be reacting. We should be proactive. I mean, just think about this. I'm going to ask a question. Who in here eats and gets a little bit tired after they eat? Don't lie. Right? You eat, you get a little bit tired. Okay. Who in here got to drink energy drinks at all throughout the day? Coffee. Okay, coffee or some type of caffeinated beverage. Pre-workout?
Throughout the whole day.
Throughout the whole day, at all.
Oh.
At all. Any type of stimulant to get you, I need to wake up. Right? Right. The majority of us, right? Need some type of stimulant to wake up, and you need some type of depressant to go to bed, right? Now, just ask yourself, were we built like that? Like, what stimulation, what caffeine, what Red Bull was David taking back in the day? Solomon and them. You know what I'm saying? Samson, what Red Bull, what energy drink did he have? Which one? Celsius? You see what I'm saying? Like, we weren't created to have to rely on these stimulants. Does anybody here take vitamins? Okay. You take vitamins daily? Daily? You just started daily? Right. See, like, vitamins are just supplements. They're supposed to supplement, not be a daily occurrence where I need to take vitamins every single day. Now, think about it. There was a time when there was no such thing as vitamins, and you ate and you got big and strong like Popeye, right? Right. So we all, especially when you start hitting a certain age, when you hit past the age of 30, everything slows down for a man and for a woman, and then you start to expand around the waist somehow. It don't matter how skinny you were, right? It don't matter if you was I was 160 in high school. It don't matter. You hit 30, or you up to 200. You put on 40 pounds from high school to 30. That's 15 years, 40 pounds, and you're like, wait a minute, how'd this happen? Well, because you didn't have a plan, right? We didn't develop good habits. We didn't understand and see the value in staying active, eating the proper foods, proper rest. All these, I'm going to go through this list of 10 different things that are detrimental to health, right? They're detrimental to health. Now, what's the first thing for those that do have a some sort of goal you want to achieve, some sort of plan you want to be on, some type of lifestyle change? Some of us want to switch over to plant-based so bad. You can taste the green, right? Mm-hmm. You can taste all that lovely kale. Some of us want to cut sugar. Some of us want to, you just want to be overall healthy. You want to get rid of some pain, some inflammation. What's the main thing? What's the main thing behind that? Why it's so hard to either not start, right? Or then when you do start, you go about 3 days. You go about 4 days and you're like, man, I'm going to start next week. Right? But let's think about it. What's the thing that stops us? Or what's lacking? What's lacking in that situation where it's hard for me to start, but then when I do start, it's hard for me to continue. And then if I don't continue, it's hard for me to get back on. I need like extra motivation. What's the one thing that is lacking? Who can tell me? What, Ivy? Yeah, it's discipline, right? So this is what you're going to write down. Obviously, do you guys know the title? The title of the class is it's damn, what is it? Just had it. Hold on. It's called Discipline for Health, a Biblical Perspective. Discipline for Health, a Biblical Perspective. This is going to be part 1 because I broke this down into 5 lessons or 10 lessons. I broke it down into 10 different lessons or 10 different talking points that are imperative for anybody that's trying to go on some type of health journey. And I hate saying health journey because really, isn't it not a lifestyle change? Right? We're trying to get back to the natural estate. Cats hit 40 and all of a sudden they broken down. We ain't supposed to hit 40 and just that's it. 40 is supposed to be the prime, if that. Right?
I thought it was 30.
Well, think about it. If a man's life is 120, 60 should be the prime. That's the middle. Middle age should be 60. Middle age these days is 20. Right? Because the 20-year-olds are looking beat the hell down. Women and men, they're looking old. Well, they are. And it's because of these things that are lacking, right? So you're going to write down the title, and I want you to write lesson 1. Discipline. Lesson 1, discipline, right? Or / self-control. And that's important. Discipline and self-control is important in anything, right? That's important physically, but it's also important to have discipline and self-control spiritually. If you can control your spirit, if you can have that discipline to rule your spirit, and we're going to go into some of those scriptures, you can get on any type of plan. You can get on a better study plan, right? You can get on a reading plan. You can get on any health plan and actually get results. What's the one reason why a lot of people don't do certain things? Because they don't see results. They're not on something long enough to get the desired result. So they say, oh, that's not working for me. I'm not going to do that. Right? You don't study. You haven't studied long enough and dove into the book for a long enough time consecutively and consistently to now see the results of your studies. You can't go to the gym for 2 weeks and think you're going to come out looking like Arnold back in the 80s. Nah, when you was looking like Fat Albert before you got in, like, that ain't going to work, right? You got to give yourself time, but it all stems from being disciplined. So what scripture do I want? What's our discipline scripture?
Ecclesiastes.
Yeah. It's the 6th chapter, but wrong book. Come on, what's this is the this is the it's Wisdom of Solomon, right? I want you to go to Wisdom of Solomon 6, and I want you to start at verse 12. Go ahead. So we're just dealing with health from a biblical perspective. Right now, we're just dealing with the point of discipline. Why can't we achieve? Go ahead.
Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 6, and verse 12.
Yes, sir.
Wisdom is glorious.
Right.
And never fadeth away.
Yeah, and I wanted to go here just to give a little context of what the chapter is talking about and what the subject. So it's going into wisdom. Go ahead.
Yea, she is easily seen of them that love her.
Go ahead.
And found of such as seek her.
Right, jump down to verse 17.
Verse 17. For the very true beginning of her is
So the very true beginning of her, which is wisdom, go ahead.
Is the desire of discipline.
Is the what?
The desire of discipline.
Now, let me ask y'all this. What is, when you look at wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, right? Which one is the end result?
Wisdom.
Wouldn't it be wisdom? You have knowledge, you understand how to use it, that brings forth proper wisdom. So wisdom will be an end result. Remember, wisdom is the correct application of knowledge. So I have this knowledge. I understand how to place this knowledge in a situation, which in turn will bring forth wisdom. So wisdom is the end result of something. Why do we never ever get to the end result or the result of what we want? Because we lack wisdom. But what do we really lack? Discipline. Go ahead. Go ahead.
And the care of discipline.
And the what?
The care of discipline.
See, and the care to be disciplined, which a lot of us don't care for. Because discipline hurts. Discipline is restrictive, right? Yeah. When you're under something that's a disciplined regime, don't you feel like, man, I can't do nothing, right? I gotta be on this health plan, but I want to cop this pizza. I'm driving by, I'm looking at the pizza. I'm on a fast and everything's smelling good, right?
That's what I copped today.
Some pizza from the mall.
So after I picked Shariah up from school, we went to Domino's.
Right, one piece of cheese today and I can't stop sniffling.
Perfect.
Hey, one piece of cheese, bro, and I'm clogged up. Yeah, one piece of cheese and one piece of bread, and I'm over here feeling like I got the flu.
Yeah.
But I haven't had cheese and bread in a few days. I've been trying to wean myself. I got a little weak today in the flesh. You know what I'm saying? I got a little weak. Yeah, but I'm all stuffy. I'm stuffy and I'm leaking, and I got a bunch of mucus in my throat. So you hear me clear my throat a lot? It's because of that. It's the cheese and the bread that's killing me, right? But what's the problem? It tastes so good, I can't give it up because I hate being disciplined in it, right? We love rice.
Cheese on bread is very good.
We love bread. I put an egg right on top, fried. Yeah, with this nice amount of
melted cheese.
Oh, it was all the way melted in the toaster oven.
Oh.
Yeah, I put it in the toaster oven, put the cheese in there in the air fryer, hit it, boom, cook my egg. And then when I you know how to come on. Yeah. It wasn't no rinky dink egg and cheese. No.
With no dry.
No. Nothing whack, bro. It was if I'm gonna go out. Right? And it was high quality cheeses. Right? It's high quality cheeses. My rib went, she felt like she wanted to have like a wine cheese cracker day. I'm like, let me dip into some of this cheese and see what's up. You know, she's trying to get bougie sometimes. I'm like, I get bougie with you. So it was high quality cheeses and an egg, you know, but I'm paying for it right now because discipline was telling me, you know the result when you eat this, what's going to happen. And I'm like, but you taste so good.
Yes.
Right? So discipline is about fighting those urges. Discipline is about holding fast to what it is you know is better for you or good for you. A lot of the times we go with what we want and what we close that door. And what is good for us is always the better option. But what we want, what we need, what feels good is for the moment, it's momentarily, right? But guess what? The effects last longer than the feeling you got. I don't remember what that damn egg sandwich tastes like. I know how I feel now, though, right? That egg sandwich is gone, right? It's gone, but I know, see? But I know how I feel now. I feel clogged up. I like it's leaking to the back of my throat. I feel like I'm getting sick. I know I'm not, right? I got this boy right here. Old Faithful is going to knock it out. A little cayenne pepper tea. It's going to get that out of there, right? But I'm doing this as a reaction, right? I'm doing the tea. This is a detox tea I got. I add some things to it, but I'm doing that as a reaction. We should be proactive in our health, and then we won't have to react to the sniffles and COVID and all these things that have been plaguing us. Go ahead, read on. Try not to be long-winded. Go ahead.
And the love is keeping of her laws.
Right. See, and you gotta love. First of all, you gotta love yourself. To be on any type of discipline, you gotta love yourself. Can I get that? Yeah. Get that from you? That's all over my pants. You gotta love yourself, man. You gotta love yourself enough to say, you know what? If I'm an older age brother and I want to be around to be able to teach this Bible for a while, I gotta put in work on my health. If I'm a woman with children, I gotta put in work on my health because why? I want to be able to be there for my kids as they get older, right? You don't want the burden of your children or of you on your children. This is good. I didn't spill too much. Them having to push you around in a wheelchair when you get older, right? Them having to babysit you when you get older. You want to be able to move around. You don't want to put that hindrance on them. But it starts now, right? The discipline, the change has got to start now. Go ahead.
And the giving heed unto her laws
Uh-huh.
is the assurance of incorruption.
Go ahead.
And incorruption.
Because what happens when your body starts to break down? Isn't it not going corrupt? Yeah, when you start getting the arthritis and all the itises, gingivitis, arthritis, gastritis, right? When you start getting all those things and the achy joints, that's your body being corrupted, right? And what does it start with? It starts with our diet. It starts with all these things we're going to talk about. Go ahead.
And incorruption maketh us near unto God.
Right, and it'll keep us nearer longer. That's the point. We want to be at least able to, because remember, it's not about sitting up in America and trying to live the American dream for as long as we can. But this is about being around as long as we can for the next generation, right? He went through the class so eloquently last week about the respect of the elders, right? And how the younger generation should be looking to the elders for that guidance, right? But what happens when your elders die at 40? Right? Remember when there was a big mama? She went all the way to like 80. That ain't happening. The life expectancy, you know what's crazy? I was looking into it. The life expectancy is going up, which is a good thing, right? But a lot more people are having longer issues like dementia, diabetes. Like a lot more people are living with these issues. It's like becoming the norm. Where yeah, the life expectancy is going up, but people are living longer, sicker. Or sicker longer, right? You got cats getting diabetes at 30. So if you got diabetes at 30 and you go to 70 with diabetes, with cancer, bro, hypertension, high blood pressure, how you hypertensive at 30? Well, it's all about discipline first and foremost. It's all about caring for yourself on a level that I can't burden me, my husband, my wife, my children. I can't burden the generation to come with my health issues because I don't want to make the right choices. Yeah. I got to make the right choices to be an example for that generation. They talk about the, what do they say? Like a predisposal to certain diseases. But where does that come from? Right? Where does that come from when, like, they ask you, like, who in your family had this disease? And they're like, oh, well, you're more prone to get it. They're right. If you keep their same habits. But if you flip the script and be a little bit more healthy and make different decisions, then You ain't got to worry about those things. And that's kind of why I want to go into this series of classes, because it's so many things that we don't even consider that affects our health, men and women. It's food, the main thing, but man, the things you put on your skin, the things you, the water you bathe in, all these different things that we can prevent a lot of it. We can be proactive in a lot of our day to day.
Yeah.
Right. But it starts here, discipline. Right. So you're going to write this down. You're going to write down lesson 2. Right. Self-control in eating habits. Right. So basically, we're going to talk about self-control in relation to food choices. Now, we know what? We know that the Bible gives us lawful and unlawful foods, right? We know that. We know that pork, shrimp, crab, lobster, for the most part, everybody knows not to mess with that. Everybody should know for the totality not to mess with that. Then we know they slide little things into certain foods, but we know the what's and what nots to eat, right? Now, is it because it's lawful that it should be a free-for-all? Alcohol is lawful. Should we just be sitting there just pounding back kegs?
No.
Oreos are lawful. We were just talking about it earlier. Oreos are considered vegan. Oreos are considered vegan. What else did you say was considered vegan? Coca-Cola is considered vegan. Think about that. Coca-Cola is killing people. Coca-Cola got the whole country of Mexico on diabetes watch. They all on diabetes watch out there because Coca-Cola is destroying them from the inside out. They getting amputated. They losing teeth. They getting extra bloated. Them people are dying. I'm talking about every generation. From the littlest kid that can walk and hold a Coke bottle to the oldest grandma getting pushed in a wheelchair. They're addicted to Coca-Cola. They're addicted to Coca-Cola. They're addicted at a high level. There's documentaries about it.
I saw it.
Yeah, there's documentaries about how they're addicted. Go on YouTube and just put in Coca-Cola in Mexico.
Yeah,
they drink.
The Mexican Coke is different.
Well, because it has real sugar, but
it's different.
But this is the thing. Even sugar that you drink in Coca-Cola that's not real sugar. They lie to you. They lie to you. Yeah, we know about high fructose, but cane sugar that's in a liquid form, that's not real sugar. That's not what your body recognizes as sugar. When they pull out that sugar cane and refine it, good night. They take away everything out of that sugar that's going to actually do something for your body. So that's why it's such an addiction. Just ask yourself this. Does fruits have sugar in it?
Yeah.
Why they ain't pounding fruits at a high level? Why you don't see cats feeding to get mangoes and grapes, right? And things like that. Because when you refine those sugars, you appeal to a person that doesn't have that self-control. So let's go to Timothy's. Now, what's the first thing you got to have when it comes to self-control? What does self-control have to deal with? Where does it start?
Your mind.
Huh?
Your mind.
In the mind, right? In the mind. Now, can you be a weak-minded person and have self-control? No, right? So that means that you have to strengthen your mind to be able to exude, to be able to show forth that self-control when things are presented. Right? So go to 2 Timothy 1 and verse 7. Read that. 2 Timothy 1 and 7.
2 Timothy chapter 1 verse 7. For God hath not given us a spirit of fear.
Right? So remember, the Most High has given us a spirit of fear. Go ahead.
But of power.
But of what?
Power.
He gave us a spirit of power. Right? But what is that power? What is that power necessary for? That power is necessary to be able to conquer. He gave us a spirit of conquerors, man. Go ahead.
And of love.
Read on. Right? Remember we just talked about love? The ability to love oneself and to love others, right? The ability to let yourself be under the yoke of discipline to show that self-love and self-care. Read on.
And of a sound mind.
What do you need for self-control?
And of a sound mind.
See, the problem is that our minds are not sound in the things that we're trying to go towards. Our minds become unsound when it's time to control ourselves, right? You wanna fast and you smell the Chick-fil-A and you end up somehow in the line. And then your conscience is like, no, you want to fast, brother. And you're like, it just keeps calling me, right? And then somehow you order. And then not only do you order 3 meals, right? You get 3. Let me get the deluxe chicken sandwich, the regular chicken sandwich, and some nuggets with the large waffle fry and a big fat Pepsi, right? So you just, self-control just goes right out the window, right? But self-control and a sound mind go hand in hand. That's in anything. It's the same thing, again, when you're studying, right? When you're dealing with people. Self-control is important, but why do people lose control? Because they don't have a mind towards what they're doing, and they let others infiltrate and affect their minds, right? That's why do you think people argue? Why do you think people get in arguments? Because no one can control themselves, right? No one has the soundness of mind to say, wait, hold up. You know what? I'll let you talk, and then I'll respond. And then when I'm talking, you don't talk. And then you get to respond. And then we're going to do this thing that they call having a conversation, right?
Yeah.
But there's no self-control, right? So go from there. Proverbs 25:28. So what we're seeing is that the Bible is a good way to challenge your health. Anything we do in life, man, we could apply the scriptures and say, wait a minute, this is good for my actual health. This is good for my physical health. Let me get them napkins. Right? So read that for me. Proverbs 25:28.
Proverbs chapter 25, verse 28.
Right?
He that has no rule over his own spirit
Come on.
is like a city that is broken down.
Yeah, now, again, what does that go into? A city that's broken down. Go ahead.
And without walls.
And without walls is a defenseless city. Easily infiltrated, easily taken over, right? Will lay down for anybody. Will give it up to anything. You see that? So self-control is about having your mind sound and defensed, right? Like, remember we talked about Job? We were talking about Job the other day in class, and Satan asked, he said, you protect Job for not, is he not fenced round about? Yeah, of course he is. But that's how we should be. We should be fenced about with our mind with this wisdom, man. And that's going to keep your mind sound. Go to Proverbs 16:32.
Wow. Proverbs chapter 16, verse 32.
Go ahead.
He that is slow to anger is better than the mighty.
Go ahead. So why is anger important? Why am I going here? Well, because anger is about self-control. This is the first and foremost thing that a lot of brothers and sisters cannot control, is their anger. Anger comes from oneself. Well, why'd you get upset? Well, she made me upset. Nah. No one can make you upset. Yeah. It's like how I got to deal with my son, right? He gets angry, and I'm like, bro, what you get all emotional? He's like, because they're making me angry. I'm like, bro, you got to learn how to rule your spirit. You got to stop being like this defenseless city, right? Where anybody can just walk in and do whatever they want. Nobody should just be able to walk into your mind and control it, except for the word. The word, the spirit. You know what's crazy? It's wild how we let people control our minds, but not the word. Okay, I'm going to say it again. It's true. It's crazy how we'll let people control our anger and control our minds, but when we read the word ain't got no control. It's like, didn't you read it? Yeah, but so we rather be angry when someone says something to us. We rather get emotional. Now, if we flip that energy, right? If we change that energy to what the Bible is saying, you know how much more successful we would be as a people? You know how much more successful you would be as an individual? just on your daily journeys, on your daily goals, you'd have successes all through life. You'd have a lot of wins. But see, we take them L's because that energy is directed the wrong way. That self-control is not applied the right way. Go ahead.
And he that ruleth the spirit, then he that taketh the city.
Right. See, when you can control your spirit, you mightier than a man that can take a city. You see that? Go from there. Go to Galatians 5:22. Oh wow. Mm-hmm. That's tree bark. Go ahead. Galatians 5:22 and 23.
Look at Galatians chapter 5 and verse 22.
Right?
But the fruit of the Spirit,
right,
is love.
See, I'm going to show you one of these fruits that we always look over. Everybody know, love. See, brother, the fruits of the Spirit. Love. What else?
Joy.
Right? I want to be happy. I want to be joyful. What else?
Peace.
I want to have peace. Most High promised me peace. What else?
Long suffering.
Come on.
Gentleness.
Right?
Goodness.
Right?
Faith. Meekness. Temperance.
Pause. Temperance. What does it mean to be temperate? Somebody look it up for me. But what does it mean to be temperate? Or to have a temperance? Notice the word temper. Right? Temper. Where does your temper come in? What is that about? Isn't that dealing with your anger? Isn't that dealing with your happiness, your joy? Isn't that dealing with your sadness? Right? What you got for temperate?
For temperance, one is moderation, particular.
Slow down. Say it again.
They said moderation.
Moderation. Right? What else?
Particularly. Habitual. Moderation.
Right.
In regard to.
Right.
Indulgence. Of natural appetites.
Of natural what?
Appetite.
See, this is about temperance and natural appetite. So anger is a natural appetite for man. Right? Men without wisdom. Women without wisdom. Right? Sadness. Happiness. Joy.
Yeah.
Right? But also, when I want to eat something, that's a natural appetite to just want to eat. Right? Because we are dealing with self-control in eating. I need to eat. But again, because you can go to the Whataburger, because it's not against the law, because you can pull up to the Whataburger, does that mean that you order 5 things off the menu? Sit there, gorge yourself, and then an hour or 2 later, you hungry again, and you dip it into the fridge, stuffing yourself, right? Or because I can go to Whataburger because it's open 24 hours a day, I pull up an hour before I got to go to bed. You know, that's one of the things that's killing us, right? That right before bed eating is wrecking all of us. I'm guilty. Trust me. We got the garbage schedules, right? Yeah. Where everything for us is a later night situation. But just because you're having a later night, like we're going to get out of here at 9 on the dot, I might add, right? We're going to get home around 10. Some of us going to lay down about 11, 12, right? But some of us, before you lay down, guess what you're going to do? I'm going to use Corey's words. You're going to get some groceries. Right? You're going to get you some groceries. Meaning you're going to get you some food, right? Now you can go get you some groceries and get the heaping plate, right? That when you eat it, it puts you down into the bed. Or you can say, you know what? Dang, I got to have some self-control. I'm not getting good sleep because I eat an hour before I go to bed. So the whole night I'm up while I'm awake. I'm up while I'm sleeping. What does that mean? I'm up while I'm sleeping. No. No, you're up while you're sleeping, meaning you're asleep. Right? All that snoring, all that halfway dying in your sleep. What do they call that? Sleep apnea. right? You're doing that, but your body is still working to break down all the food you just ate, so you don't really get no sleep. Or excuse me, you get sleep, but you don't get actual rest. We're going to talk about sleep too. You don't get rest, because rest means to put a pause on everything. You shouldn't be digesting food in the middle of the night while you're sleeping, right? You shouldn't be doing that. You shouldn't be waking up in the middle of the night to go pee. You should be asleep. Your body should be shutting down. But who wakes up in the middle of the night to use the restroom? Right. You know why? Because of convenience. You get to take this to the room, sit it next to the bed, have you a drink before you go to sleep. Sits in your stomach. It processes through. Bladder gets filled up a few hours later. And guess what gets broken? Your sleep. That valuable sleep. We're going to talk about it. Right? Let me go back. Temperance. Go ahead. What else you got?
It says, and passion. It says restrain or moderate indulgence as temperance in eating.
Right? In what?
Eating.
See? In eating. It's not just eating, but we're dealing with the topic of eating right now. Go ahead.
And drinking.
Go ahead.
Temperance in indulgence of joy or mirth.
Right.
Temperance in eating and drinking is opposed to gluttony.
Ooh. See that? See that? Temperance, right? That's one of the fruits of the Spirit. Now think about it. What is a fruit? Is not a fruit a byproduct of the tree? Right? And not just a tree that's been neglected, right? But that real good fruit, like the scriptures say, the fruit declareth if the tree has been dressed. So when you get that real good fruit and you bite it, you gosh, like that, somebody took care of that tree. Somebody fertilized it, somebody watered it. When you ever got that fruit that was dry, you're like, oh man, this tree sucks. It gave fruit, but it wasn't taken care of. Right? So guess what? You have a little bit of temperance, but it's small. It's small. It's not enough to get you over the hump. So what does that mean? I have to work on, I got to work on the tree, which is me. I got to work on the tree so when the fruit of temperance is supposed to appear, it's going to be a good fruit. I'm going to be temperate in things. I'm going to have self-control. But how do you know that the tree is not getting the right nutrition? Because when it's time to be controlled, you're out of control. It says you're a glutton. You're a glutton in your joy. Oh, I want to just have fun. You're a glutton in your food. I just want to eat. Right? Donuts are lawful. You just sit here and eat donuts all day? Because it's not good for you. Even though it's lawful, all things are lawful, but not expedient. Right? All things are lawful, but not all things edify. Not all things are going to build you up spiritually because it is lawful. Is that all you had on that?
No.
What else you got? Is it going to repeat it or is it?
No. It says drunkenness and in order.
See, drunkenness. Go ahead.
And other indulgence to excess. And then and patience, calmness.
Patience, calmness. Go ahead.
Steadiness, moderation of passion.
Right.
And then it says he calmed his wrath with goodly temperance.
Right. So temperance, man. So now go from there. Finish that verse and then go to Titus chapter 1 and verse 8.
Wow. Against such, there is no law.
Right. Against these fruits, there is no law. Who can tell you something when you temperate in all things? Aren't you not going to be blameless? He never gets angry. He never overdoes it. He never goes too far. She never goes too far. He's always spot on. Right? But now apply that to your food, to your eating. Apply that to the self-control of eating. Okay, do y'all know, just since we're talking about food, do you know that you're only supposed to eat about 80% of your fullness? Because there is an actual delay between the brain and the stomach. Did y'all know that? You eat and you say, you know what? I could eat more, but let me chill. and then give it about a good 10 minutes, and you're gonna feel full because there's a delay between the brain and the stomach. So what do we tend to do? Most of the time, we overeat, right? We overeat because of the way we're built.
We eat too fast too.
And then, right, then we eat too fast. I'm guilty. I don't even chew. Right? I'm like, plate empty. Seconds.
Yeah.
The more chews you take, but I don't like to chew my food till it's like mushy. That's terrible. Just be all full of spit. But you're supposed to chew, they say like, what, 150 chews in one spoon or something crazy. Something wild that Esau came with. Right? But you're supposed to mince that food up.
Probably helps with the digestion.
But it helps with, and that's what I was going to say. It helps with the digestion. It's like if you're juicing something. If you put a whole fruit in there, it's going to take longer for that fruit to be juiced, right? But if you help the blender by doing what? You chop it up fine. And you drop it in, it's like, it's less work. It's the same thing with your digestive. You chew that food up, right? You mince it down, and it's easier for your stomach to now break those things down. But we eat way too fast. We eat way too much. But where does the self-control start when it comes to food? Doesn't it start with what you put on the plate? Like how much? There's an expression. I know they probably say it here. I know they say it in Jamaica. Your eyes are too big for your belly. Right? Because you see it and you're like, oh, yeah. And you want to, right? You want to pile it on. But what happens? Now you're obligated. I got to eat this.
Yeah.
Can't waste no food. But think about it.
Like a buffet.
Yeah. But you can't treat everything like, even at a buffet, you got to know when what. To have a little moderation. You got to know, okay, you know what? I know it's a buffet, but let me eat to my fill. But I got to be temperate. I got to be self-controlled. Read that.
Titus chapter 1 verse 8.
Go ahead.
But a lover of hospitality,
Right.
a lover of good men,
Come on.
sober,
Right.
just,
Right.
holy,
Right.
temperate.
Right. You see that? So this is talking about, I believe it's talking about a bishop. If I'm not mistaken. Titus is just piggybacking off of Timothy. Right? And he's talking about a bishop. But why does a bishop need to be temperate? Well, because he got to be the example. Right? So he can't be a glutton in his food. Right? Then you're going to have a whole congregation of gluttons because everyone's going to think, well, pastor's doing it. Bishop is doing it. So it must be right. What's good for the goose is good for the gander. Right? Isn't that the thinking? Right. So the bishop, right? The husbands, right? We got to be the examples of that temperance in our households on all levels, whether it's food, whether it's dealing with the rib, whether it's dealing with the kids, right? Not letting the things that they're doing affect our spirit to now where we're lashing out, right? Where we're getting agitated, I'm guilty. I ain't gonna act like I don't be flashing. I be flashing, right? My patience I ain't gonna lie, my patience has increased greatly. You know when you can drive in the car and both the kids is like, ah! They're just making noises and you don't say nothing? That's kind of me now. Before, shut up! What's wrong with y'all? Right? The whole drive up here, this is what I'm faced with. I'm faced with a 3, how old is he? He's 3. I'm faced with a 1-year-old that's learning how to talk. So they're just making music together. I can't even hear the radio. I'm listening to a class. I couldn't even hear it. So I'm like, you know what? Y'all got it. I just let them do their thing in the back. And I'm like, God, this is what I signed up for. Right? She learned how to talk. He's talking to her. They're yelling. They're not even like yelling. They're just like in the back, like singing. It's loud, bro. Manashah's loud. A warrior's loud. 20-minute ride. I'm just like, sounds good. This is what it is. Right? The younger me would have been, what's wrong with y'all? Shut up. I'm trying to hear. Like, nah. You get to the point where you're like, you know what? This is what it is. Right? You let them be kids. You don't let what they're doing affect you. You see that? I just took that time to just think about things, think about the class. I like noise. I could think in noise. I think better in noise. So I just thought, I meditated. Right? So temperance, go to 2 Peter 1 verse 5. Now, how do we build up this temperance? Because there's a method to everything. We just got to apply methods, right? How do we build up our temperance? Now remember, we're still on the lesson of self-control in eating habits. But how do we build ourselves up? Go ahead, 2 Peter 1 and 5.
Look at 2 Peter chapter 1 and verse 5. And beside this, giving all diligence, add to your faith virtue.
Right? So, diligence, right? Being diligent in things, right? Diligent just means what? Consistent, right? Being consistent in something adds to your faith. Why? Why does it add to your faith? Because what is consistency? What does consistency give you?
When you're consistent, you have control.
No, yeah, but no, what?
You say the desired results.
Results. Well, they may not be the desired results, but they're results. But if you're consistent the right way and you get the result and you keep going, then you'll get your desired result. So he's right. Consistency gives the result. There's a clip, like a short of Master P. I guess he was like talking to his college professor or somebody in high school or whatever, and he told him like, I'm gonna be rich. And the professor was like, how much you want to make? He said, I want to make $1 million. He's like, nah, you probably make 250,000, but you ain't making no million. He said, no, I'm gonna make $1 million. He said, how you gonna make $1 million? He asked him about McDonald's. He said, how does McDonald's make money? He said, they sell a bunch of burgers. He said, what does McDonald's sell? This is what the professor asked him. He said, they sell a bunch of Big Macs. He said, no, they sell consistency because every Big Mac tastes the same. So once they found the winning formula, they didn't change from that. They stayed diligent, consistent. And what does that do when we can be consistent and get the right result? Is that not going to build your faith to keep going? Right? Go ahead.
Add to your faith virtue.
Right? Where you at? Right? Let me get there. See, I got to start doing this more. I'm looking at the TV. I need to look at my Bible. Where are we at? 2 Peter, right?
2 Peter 1 and verse 5.
Right. Go ahead.
Add to virtue knowledge.
Right. So jump back just a little bit. 1 and 5. And besides this, giving diligence, add to your faith. Your faith virtue, right? Virtue is just good traits, right? A virtuous woman. That's just good traits, man. That's just having good traits, right? Godly traits. Go ahead.
And to your virtue knowledge.
And because now I am putting out these good traits. Now I understand how to keep that train rolling. I have the knowledge on this, right? So it's the same thing with my eating, right? If I do something consistently, like working out, and I see a little bit of result, that's going to build my faith. Yeah. And if I have the good virtues that it takes, like discipline is a virtue. Patience is a virtue. They say that. They always say patience is a virtue, right? I hear it a lot, but so is discipline, right? Okay. So is peace. All the fruits of the spirits are virtues. So virtue adds to my knowledge. Now I understand how to get said result consistently over and over. So I know one thing. The knowledge I know is if I eat cheese, good night. Good night for me. If I eat cheese, if I eat bread. Remember I was on the phone with you. I said, man, I ate this bread and I just started sneezing. Yeah. No lie. Hey, one piece of bread, I'm on the phone with him sneezing. I'm losing it.
And you said it was gluten-free.
And it was gluten-free, yeah. But it's because it's the wheat. Wait till I start going in and talking about, like, I'm going to start doing, like, the 10 effects of wheat, the 10 effects of sugar, the 10 effects of this. And we're going to start going into how these things are affecting us so y'all can really understand. Because we think we eat good. Oh, I'm a vegan. We just talked about veganism. That's a cap, right? That's a title that they let you just eat junk food and title it veganism, right? Nobody should be a vegan because all that stuff is, all the vegan foods you get now, they're so convenient, right? All the Beyond Meats, all the vegan cheeses, vegan mayo, all that stuff. It's so convenient, but just flip your little label around and read it.
Vegan egg.
Yeah, just flip the little label around and read it.
Heavy and terrible.
And if you, the egg without the egg whites.
No, it wasn't. What I got was
vegan
like
eggs.
The yellow, like try to make it seem like it was yolk.
It was definitely not the yolk. That was probably some process. It was all processed. If it comes in a box, if it comes in a bag, if it comes in some plastic, it's killing you. It's killing you. It's all processed, right? So these are the things we got to understand. But it's hard to be self-disciplined and control in this world because they make it all look so good. They make it so tasty, right? Read on. Where you at?
2 Peter chapter 1 and verse 6.
Right.
And to knowledge, temperance.
Right. So see how that to knowledge. Now I understand how to be temperate. That it's okay. The knowledge is that it's okay to be self-controlled. See, a lot of the times we thinking what? Like I'm missing out. I'm missing out if I don't eat the pizza, if I don't get the new sandwich they put on the commercial, the new Whataburger or the new Wendy's. And I don't even eat KFC. They got this $20 KFC box they just came out with. It got the chicken. It got like 18 dipping sauces. It got the fries. And it got something else. And I was like, dang, that looks good. I haven't ate KFC in almost 20 years. Why am I looking at KFC like, Why am I acting like the Colonel is still in there making chicken? Why am I acting like the 11 herbs and spices is that great? I haven't had it in 20 years. I'm serious. I haven't had KFC in so long. It's probably been longer than 20 years. But one commercial had me like, man, let me check my account real quick. See if I got 20 with no spare. I would have ate that whole box by myself. Ain't nobody getting none. That's a family box. I would have went all the way in on a leg, a thigh. No legs, but on a thigh and some breast meat. Oh, they had all the dipping sauces in a box. Bro, you ain't gotta ask what sauce. They just got them all there for you. So you could double dip, triple dip, right? They make it so convenient.
Wow.
But you want... Well, he's a sauce guy, so he knows his, right? That's me drinking sauces. But they make it like this. See, when we start going through it, y'all gonna really see the agenda, right? It's gonna put a lot of scriptures together. Psalms 83, right? It's gonna put that together for you to really see. Deuteronomy 28:64, the one of all things, right? You're gonna or 28:45 and down. You're gonna be able to put these things together and say, man, the enemy, right? Not just the white man, but the nations, they are trying to wipe us out, and it's easy. It's a food war. Right? I always talk about food wars, water wars, air wars. They doing all that. They killing us on every front. And we the only ones that don't know it. Because we're so strong, we can survive it. We can survive KFC. We can survive. If you can survive crack, and if you can cook fentanyl, smoke it, bathe in it, and still not die, I mean, aren't you a god? Aren't you a superhero? I mean, just think about it. Fentanyl, most people touch that. A touch. Good night. You got niggas out here smoking it and then putting embalming fluid and dipping their weed in it on purpose.
The coldest part is when they hear that somebody died from it, they're like, that's the good
stuff.
That's
the good stuff.
That's what we need.
That's the one we want. Yeah. Wow. Think about it.
That's literally how it works.
But because they can't kill us. But that doesn't mean because we're quote unquote invincible, right? Through the power of the Most High that we tempt the Most High or that we go towards these poisons. There's ways around these things, right? Go ahead, read on.
And to temperance, patience.
And to temperance is not going to lead to having more patience. Temperance is like you know what it's like? When something is tempered, it's like when you take a piece of metal and you temper it to the point where it's been heated up, it's been banged out, it's been molded, heated up, banged. It's been dealt with in such a way. It's been so heat treated and been, under that refinement so well that now you can't bend that metal. You can't break that metal. It's just going to hold up forever. It's tempered. You see that tempered metal? It's just super strong. It's together. It can't be broken, right? Even reheating it, you gotta heat that thing up 3-4 times the amount that it was tempered in. Y'all see that? Go ahead, read on.
And to patience, godliness.
Go ahead.
And to godliness, brotherly kindness.
Go ahead.
And to brotherly kindness, charity.
Right. And why did I read down? Well, because it is a brotherly kindness to be there for your brother and not have to be sick. And then having your brother worried about you, having your wife, your children worried about you. Are they going to make it? It's a brotherly kindness to take care of your health for the next man. It is. Right? If the kingdom of heaven is within you and you ain't here to be the kingdom, then now it's just left to me. If we got to teach this word and brothers is complaining about their knees, you can't get up on the podium because your knees hurt. Oh, I can't walk today. My back. Then you putting all the work on the next man. That's not charitable. It's not kind. Right? Right. Go ahead.
For if these things be in you,
come on,
and abound,
and they what?
Abound.
See, and we want these things to abound. We want that temperance, that self-control to be an abounding virtue. Read.
They make you that ye shall neither be barren,
right,
nor unfruitful,
nor what?
Nor unfruitful.
See, you will get the fruits of your self-control. You will get that proper fruit of the Spirit. See how it's all going together? I didn't plan that. Go to 1 Corinthians 9 and verse 27. I did that. Right? Listen, I hope y'all are paying attention. I hope y'all online are paying attention. This is important. We talk about health all the time. Right? We always diving into it. But it's very important. Right? I'm not sitting here advocating for anybody to stop eating meat. I'm not advocating for that. I'm not on that right now. Right? But what I am saying is self-control. And if you're going to be a meat eater, fine. Self-control. If you're going to be a vegan, fine. Self-control. Self-control in all things. If you're going to be a pescatarian, that's the fish eaters. Oh, pescatarian? Oh, right. A pescatarian is a religious. A pescatarian? Pescatarian. You just going to eat fish? Be my guest. But too much fish can hurt you. Too much seafood is too much iodine. That's not good for the system. Right? So, in everything, if you're going to be an aeritarian, bruh, too much oxygen to the brain will make you pass out. So, aeritarians, they just breathe. They don't eat. One dude claims that he ain't ate no solid food in 8 years. He just been breathing air and drinking coconut water. I call high cap. But
he said for a couple of years he hasn't eaten or drinking.
Black dude?
Yeah, he's
black dude from Florida?
I think so, yeah.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, he photosynthesizes the sun.
He said he photosynthesizes the sun and he drinks coconut water.
He goes out there and he sits in the sun.
He drinks watermelon. He drinks juices, but he has to eat solid food. And he's skinny, but he don't look like malnutrition. Right? He just controls his breathing and kills them hunger pains and then... Right? Aeritarians, bro, it's a thing. Vegetarian, pescatarian, aeritarian. I'm a meatitarian, right? I like eating meat, but even I know eating meat.
It's breatharian.
Breatharian. Right, I say aeritarian. Even eating meat, I can't eat meat every single day. It's not good for me because I'm going to have the same effect. I'm going to be sneezing, sniffly, cough. It presents as a flu. Now think about that. When you're sniffling, sneezing, and coughing, what is your body telling you?
You got something in there.
Yeah, that it needs to get out. You see that it needs to process out. So the way to let you know the first check engine light is when you sneeze. Like if your car backfires, bah! You gonna hop out and look around like, wait a minute, what's going on? But how come when we sneeze we don't take the same approach? Right? You got all that stuff for you. You got all the maintenances for your house. You change the filters. You clean the windows. You mop the floor. You got the oil change for the car. You got all these functions for your carnal things, carnal possessions. But what about your carnal body? We got check engine lights on our body. When you sneezing, when you rashing up, when you coughing, when you got the mucus in the throat, that's the check engine light coming on saying, look, it's time to look at something under the hood. Y'all see that? Right. Go from there. 1 Corinthians 9:27.
Look at 1 Corinthians chapter 9, verse 27. But I keep under my body.
I do what?
keep under my body.
Right. Paul was letting us know about keeping under oneself, or keeping oneself under control. He said, I'm able to control my body. I can control what I eat, what I drink, and how much. I can control my anger. I can control my joy, my peace. That's not determined on anyone else. Go ahead.
And bring it into subjection.
Wait, to do what?
Bring it into subjection.
What is self-control? Read it again.
Bring it into subjection.
It's about bringing your urges into subjection, right? It's about being, but where does it first start? Do you not have to subject yourself to discipline? Yeah. So the first thing is about subjecting yourself to discipline, and then your urges, your food urges, those things will be now in captivity under that same discipline, right? The sexual urges, right? The urge to just say whatever comes to mind, the urge to hide away in the corner, the urge to not want to talk and step up. Those things will dissipate, man, under wisdom. But you got to understand about self-control. We have to understand. I did this class for me too, because I struggle. I got some wins I got to get. I've been getting a lot of losses lately. My knees hurt. Y'all been seeing me with the up here crying about my elbow, right? It's getting better. Ain't no numbness when I'm waking up. It's just real weak. So what do I got to do? I got to let it rest a little bit and just get back on some workout. But what I've been doing to try to knock some of that pain out, it's been working. So that is going to propel me to do what? To keep pushing forward, to keep being diligent, right? My faith is, oh, wow, it's working. But I already know what fasting and what eating right does. I know that it heals the body. I used to have the worst knees up in here. There was one Passover, I couldn't even walk. There was one Passover, I think a lot of people don't know. Man, I had a knee brace on and an ice pack under the garment pants. I could barely bend down to get anointed that Passover because my knees were so bad, both of them. I used to be at the oil cart, knees shot, he'll tell you. Ice pack, ace bandage at the cart. Had to sit down, get up limping. Knees were shot. I got good knees now. Fasting, prayer, eating right. Keeping under my body. Putting these things in subjection to wisdom, to the Most High, to a routine. Right? Ivy, remember when I was in Rochester and I wasn't eating meat and they was cooking them Sabbath meals? I was like, let me just get some gravy. Let me get a spoonful of gravy. I just want to, right? But even sometimes I'll be like, nah, let me chill. Let me not. Because I already know what that was going to do. That was going to open up a can of worms. One taste and it was going to be a wrap. So I had to sit back and just be self-controlled, right? And then we know that in self-control is moderation, right? Right. So write down moderation. Go to Philippians 4 and 5. Somebody else get get Proverbs 25 and 16.
Wow.
Read.
Book of Philippians chapter 4 and verse 5.
Right.
Let your moderation be known unto all men.
He said do what?
Let your moderation be known unto all men.
Meaning, let me have my moderation. He's not saying go around to everybody and tell them how moderate you are. What he's saying is, in your everyday dealings with brothers and sisters, move with a moderate mind, a moderate spirit, right? In your anger, your joy, right? In your eating, your drinking. Why? Because that lack of moderation is going to cause offense. But most importantly, read on.
The Lord is at hand.
The what?
The Lord is at hand.
Yeah, man, you got the Lord watching. You got them angels watching, right? To see, can this person rule their spirit? Is this person moderate or is this person excessive? This person a glutton, right? It's against the law to be a glutton. The Bible tells you a gluttonous and drunken son got stoned, right? He wasn't supposed to be a glutton. That's why they try to accuse Yahweh Shai of being a glutton and a winebibber. So we don't want to have that gluttonous, unsatiable spirit that can't be satisfied. We want to show our moderation in all things, because moderation shows temperance. Temperance shows self-control. Self-control shows, and all three show discipline. Right? Read on. No, that's it. I want you to go to the next one. What did I call?
Proverbs chapter 25, verse 16.
Read that.
As thou found honey,
right?
Eat so much as it sufficient for thee.
Right. Hast thou found honey? Eat what is sufficient. Read it again.
As thou found honey.
Go ahead.
Eat so much as is sufficient for thee.
Overeat.
Sufficient for thee.
No. Well, because you don't know when the honey is going to come again, so take as much as you can.
Sufficient for thee.
The Bible tells us to eat what is sufficient for us, not to overeat, not to weigh down your system. Overeating is not good. What it does is it expands your stomach, right? And there's only so many places where that food can go, right? Your body only can break down so much to where now it starts to store that food as fat, right? So overeating is an issue. So and you got people that got eating, what do they call it? Eating disorders, right? Right? Anemia? No, that's lack of iron. Bulimic, and anorexia, right? You have those conditions, man. But you got people that overeat all the time. All the time. Listen, it doesn't matter if you don't eat meat. Whatever you overeat is not good for your system. It's like anything. What's going to happen what happens when you put too much clothes in the washing machine? Does it wash properly? Don't you break the motor? Yeah. Your system can only process so much. And then you start getting backed up. That stuff starts sitting in your guts. You start to make your body real toxic. Really, really toxic. Right? So the Bible says to eat what is sufficient for thee. Go ahead.
Let thou be filled therewith.
Right?
And vomit it.
Right, and vomit it. Right? You see that? And I know y'all noticed that I haven't went into the Apocrypha. And I'm not going to. This is going to be, I don't want to go into the Apocrypha because every time we go into a health class, we always go to those same scriptures. Not that they're not good scriptures. Right? But I want to come with a little bit of a different perspective and give y'all some different scriptures to go along with the Apocrypha. We have a whole chapter on moderation, eating, and drinking. Right? And it talks about what? Don't be the first to thrust your hand into a plate. Don't be filling your plate. It even tells you about don't let your eyes look at the food and want it. Don't let your eyes be too bigger than your belly. Right? So we all know that chapter. I didn't want to jump in there. But what you can do when you get a chance, and tell them what chapter that is, y'all can always go back home and read that. But there's a whole chapter in the Apocrypha that talks about moderate eating, moderation. Right? Read on.
Verse 17.
No, from there, I want you to go. I want you to go to Proverbs 21 and 17.
Proverbs 31.
Proverbs 21 and verse 17.
Proverbs chapter 21, verse 17. He that loveth pleasure shall be a poor man. He that loveth wine.
Wait, it says he that what?
He that loveth pleasure.
He that what?
Loveth pleasure.
Yeah, because to eat is a pleasure. But if you love to overdo it, it says what?
He that loveth pleasure shall be a poor man.
Yeah, because now you got to feed that pleasure. You constantly worried about eating and you don't have no self-control. Where'd the money go? I don't know. And then you look at the bank statement, Whataburger, KFC, taco truck, Indian food, Arabian truck, right? You had what is it? Abdul, such and such. They got a good little, right? You just hitting all the restaurants. It's like, damn, you don't cook no food? Nope. No groceries. All fast food. All processed food. right? We can't give ourselves over to that type of eating. But then even when you cooking your food, that don't mean you eat the whole pot of rice. You make the pot of rice this big and you eat half. And you blow your whole gut up. You make a pot of chicken, you eat the whole damn pot. Nah, we got to do better, man. That's the point. The point is we got to do better for ourselves, right? Take it from me. I test these things. My rib be thinking I'm crazy because I'm like, man, I'm allergic to this, I'm allergic to that. I'm allergic to beer. She'll tell you, if I drink a beer tomorrow, I'm going to be in the house. Hit you, hit you, hit you, hit you. I'll sneeze 30 times in a row. And then guess what I'll keep doing? Because it's yeast. There's too much yeast in my body. There's too much yeast in a lot of our bodies. We just don't know it. We just don't know it. Especially if you drink alcohol. And especially if you eat bread. You got yeast coming all about them pores. But that yeast is what's adding and is presenting as an allergic reaction. And you sneeze, you sneeze, you sneeze. Again, check engine light. If your car sneezed, you be right at the damn mechanic like, hey, my car's sneezing. What's going on? Right? As soon as it makes a noise that don't sound like the engine purring, you like, when we make a noise that's not regular or irregular, how come we don't stop and check? Why do we keep going? No self-control, no moderation. Right? Go ahead.
He that loveth wine
right
and oil
right
shall not be rich.
You see that? Because you got to now feed into that process. And what is it saying about like it says, the love of money is the root of all evil. Is it saying not to have wine and oil and money? But when somebody loves something, don't you cater to that thing? Don't you give your all to that thing? Don't you make sure you keep that thing around? Like when a man loves a woman, don't he give his all? Don't he make sure that, you know what? She ain't going nowhere. I'm going to do what I got to do to keep my boo. Right? I'm going to fight for this. Right? And you fight for it. You give all to it. Because you want to make sure that that thing is with you. Right? But the Bible is showing us what? That it's okay to have these things, oil, wine. He said those are the principal things for a man's life. He said, what's life without wine and music? Bruh. But like Zion went through the whole music class he's been dropping on brothers and sisters. That overindulgence is part of it, right? Everything ain't gotta be trap music every single time, right? Like, who got an Alexa up in here? Right? So I had to program my Alexa to go to certain things that she wasn't used to going to. So when I say Alexa, go to Amadeus Mozart, she just playing Amadeus Mozart, and she recognizes the voice because Mozart's good to listen to sometimes, right?
So that's how I study. I got
Bro, it's good study music. It stimulates the brain. When you listen to 808s and heartbreaks, bro, that stuff is playing with your emotions. The frequencies, right? The frequencies of music. So if it's always rap and trap and pole dancing music, what's that going to put you in? What mind? Right? Twerking. When you twerking while you studying. Right? And it's your second nature. You just sitting there studying like, yeah. And the Most High said, you just start popping it like, wait a minute. You got to change the channel out. Right? You got to change the channel out. Ain't no brother should be twerking, but if your ribs start twerking, you're like, okay, we got to put something else on, sis. It just means what? That's just too much going on with that one thing. It's okay to change it up, right? Right. Go from there. Go to 1 Corinthians 10 and 30. 1 Corinthians 10 and 31. So we got to remember, man, what are these verses showing us? These verses are showing us how that practicing moderation in just various parts of our life, right? What is it going to do? What is it going to do? Well, it's going to help us to grow in other areas. It's going to eliminate a lot of issues and problems, right? Read that for me.
1 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 31.
Right?
Whether, therefore, ye eat or drink or whatsoever.
Because we all have to eat and drink. We're not aeritarians or breatharians. You're going to eat something. But he said, whether you eat or whether you drink, read.
Or whatsoever ye do,
Whatever you partake in, go ahead.
do all to the glory of God.
Right, do it to the glory of the Most High, but how do I do it in a glorious fashion? How do I show the glory in what I'm doing? Is it not through my moderation? Is it not through my temperance? Is it not with discipline? Yeah, man. This is how we got to approach everything in this mind state, right? So let's go to the next lesson, lesson 3. Now I got 30 minutes. I'm going to try to get to these 2 more. Lesson 3. Lesson 3 is what? Exercise and stewardship of the body. Exercise and stewardship of the body. Y'all don't have to get the notes. Excuse me. Right? So we always talk about the spirit, the spirit, the spirit, the spirit, the spirit. But what house is the spirit? Right. Is it not your body? Now, if you don't take care of the body, how good is your spirit going to be? No, it's not going to be too good. The scriptures say that a life of, it says death is better than a life of continual sickness. Because what happens? Well, there's another scripture that says that the spirit weighs down the earthly tabernacle. That's Wisdom of Solomon, right? I'm not going there because y'all know these scriptures. We beat these scriptures to death, right? Especially on the health talk. But we know that the spirit, when the spirit will weigh us down and vice versa. You get that injury and you got to sit on the couch. I ain't gonna lie, like when I hurt my elbow, I don't know how I hurt it. First of all, I don't know what was going on. It still hurt. But it kind of put a, I was trying to get my push-ups in, my 100 a day. I was trying to really do some things with my life. And then when that happened, it kind of put a damper. I ain't gonna lie, I was kind of, it made me frustrated. It made me frustrated because the one thing I do know is that I am getting older, right? I'm not getting younger, so I'm not reversing the clock. And every single injury or ailment that I get, every time I get sick, I'm just like, man, I gotta do better. I gotta do better. I gotta change this. I gotta change that. But the frustrating part, it goes back to the beginning, the discipline to do it. The discipline to make sure to stay on the path, right? But every time I don't stay disciplined, another ailment comes, another injury. Out of nowhere. Get out the bed, take 2 steps, twist your ankle. You're like, man, bruh, it's insane. It's insane. But this is the things that happen when you get older. So we got to do what? We got to know that as we age, if we're not putting the right foods in our body, if we don't have the self-control, then what's going to happen to that temple? It says, through much slothfulness, the house droppeth through. Right? If we're slothful, what's going to happen to that tabernacle? It's going to have broken windows, no doorknobs, right? The floor going to be dirty, all beat up. The tile is going to look like an abandoned building. We don't want to look like that. We don't want to look like we ain't got no care for ourselves, right? Them broken windows when them teeth start to fall out, right? When them teeth fall out like a broken window, you're like, dang. And but think about it. Think about a person if they're missing their front teeth, how they feel. That's a self-conscious thing now. That works on other things, right? When you can't move around like you once did it, that you get self-conscious. So what does that mean? Well, we do have to take care of the thing that houses our spirit. Y'all crazy, man. Y'all out here breaking up. Right, go to 1 Corinthians 6. Go to 1 Corinthians 6, man. Y'all over here taking this thing as a joke, man. This ain't no joke, man. But no, I'm glad we can laugh and have a little joke about it because it is funny. I'm trying to make it light. But these are some serious things, man. I'm telling you, when I start going into these things, we're going to start really going into like how to take care of my teeth, right? The 10 things I could do for oral health, right? These are some of the things that I've been doing for years where I feel like I got pretty decent teeth, right? I don't got no cavities and holes in my teeth. I'm not in the dentist getting them pulled out. There's certain things that I do, right? I'm not perfect, right? Because there's other things I don't do well, right? So it's about trying to get an overall well-being. What's that? You got to be quick.
Oh no, that's why. Because the other day I was watching this video and seeing Esau like, man, they seem to be on point.
Yeah,
they seem to be on point, but it's because they got that insurance and stuff to go to the dentist, and they have all these. They have access to a lot of things that we're just ignorant of. We don't know.
Yeah, somebody pop that for me. But this is the thing. The thing is this. We shouldn't have to rely on insurance for our health. That's why I'm doing this, to show us how do I take care of my health without having to go stand in front of the physician. Because think about it. Who goes into the dentist? Who in here goes to the dentist for regular maintenance? Or do you show up when it's starting to hurt? That's the point. You show up when it hurts. And usually when it hurts, that means it's time to pull. Right? But there was maintenances that you could have did. There was things you could have did in your oral hygiene, in your oral upkeep, to do what? To prevent going to the dentist to get teeth pulled. Right? Like, I'm very confident. I haven't been to the dentist in probably, I'd be adding years on. I'd be capping. But I know I haven't been to the dentist since I've been to Houston. I've been here almost 9 years. Right? Colorado, I probably went to the dentist. Probably haven't been to the dentist in about a good 15 years. Right? But I'm very confident that if I went to the dentist right now, he'd probably say 0 cavities. 0. The last time I went, 0. 15 years ago, that was 0. I was 30 something, 29, 30. I thought I was going to come with a mouthful. Right? 0. You got to take care of that oral health. Right? So that's what I want to kind of do, is focus these classes on a thing. Oral hygiene, maintenance, right? And those different type of things that we got to deal with. Nobody wants to lose their teeth. Right? That's a fear. That's one of my fears. To just mush mouth, that's a fear of mine. Most of you know my fears, man. Like, no teeth? Bruh. Come on, man. Huh?
Oh, my greatest fear is come upon me.
Yeah, bro. I hope that if I do go, the last thing in that grave is just going to be a full set of 36 dentures. Right? The dentures going to be looking up at you. Just no body, just bones and teeth. Right? Have you
ever had that dream where you're
losing your teeth?
All your teeth is going, and you wake up, you're like, oh, thank God.
Well, they say that when you dream like that because you're sick. Because your teeth represent your hygiene. Your teeth represent, that's what they're supposed to represent. So they say, don't quote me. They usually say when you dream about losing your teeth or your teeth are not good, that means that you're getting sick or you're sick. Some type of cold, flu, or some other type of sickness. Read where we at.
You said verse 6. Verse 19? 1 Corinthians chapter 6, verse 19.
Right.
What? Know ye not,
right,
that your body is the temple of the Holy Spirit?
You see, now, what is this telling you? That the Spirit, the Holy Spirit, needs a counterpart for it to go up in. Now, think about it. Think about it. Can the Holy Spirit go up in a cat that's smoking? No. Can the Holy Spirit go up in a whoremonger? A whore? A prostitute? Right? It says the spirit of wisdom will not enter into a malicious soul. So what does that mean? What does that mean? That my body, my temple, has to have the proper upkeep. Right? Meaning what? I do have to work out. I do have to exercise. Right? I do have to take care of myself. I got to shower. I got to brush my teeth. I got to comb my hair. I got to have personal hygiene. Right? The Most High said he don't even want to smell your doo-doo. So why would he want to smell your body odor? Oh, wow. Right? He said, listen, when you back in the day in the camp, when we were in Israel, he said, when you go to the restroom, you bury that. I don't want to. He said, because I walk amongst you. I don't want to smell that. Yeah, you go outside the camp with that. Now they got us putting toilets in the bathroom, right next to it, or toilets next to the kitchen. Right? Just think about that. They built houses with toilet. Like, you walk through the kitchen and the toilet. Boom. Somebody dropped one and you cooking.
Oh my.
Yeah. Right? We're so far gone from any type of real hygiene or any type of bodily maintenance. So he's asking a question. What? Know ye not that your body? Go ahead.
Is the temple of the Holy Spirit,
right,
which is in you?
Go ahead.
Which ye have of the Most High.
Right, which you have of the Most High. So, but even your body is of the Most High. So why would you not take care of it? Why would you not make it the best body it can be? Right? The The spirit is nothing without something to put it in. What's that?
There was once a saying about this general. He had said, one of the worst things a man could do in his life is not push his body to the extent of what it could be.
Yeah. But that's about taking care of it too, though.
Right.
That instead of taking care of it, it's okay to comb your hair. It's okay to put on lotion. Right? It's okay to do these things, but you got to be, now, wait till I start going into those things, lotions and things like that. I'm telling y'all, I'm going to start hitting y'all with this information. Y'all going to be upset. You might stop using lotion. Go ahead.
And ye are not your own.
Right?
Ye are bought with a price.
Right. Your body is bought with a price, so the spirit can be in you. Take care of your body, man. Go ahead.
Therefore, glorify the Most High in your body.
Romans 12:1. 1 Corinthians 3:16.
Romans chapter 12, verse 1.
Right, read.
I beseech you, therefore, brethren, by the mercies of God, that ye present your bodies a living sacrifice.
Right.
Holy.
Right. He said what?
Holy.
He said what?
Holy.
Holy. Go ahead.
Acceptable unto God.
Right. Your body has to be holy and acceptable. Your body. That means I can't do the foul things with my body, obviously. That means I got to take care of my body. My body can't be inflamed, right? Why you think, like, you got a lot of people out there like, well, so, like, eating pork is going to keep me out the kingdom? Yeah. You're defiling that temple. That pork worm is growing in you and making you misunderstand the whole Bible. The spirit ain't going up in you when you breaking the law. Because it's not about the pork, it's about the law.
Oh.
Ain't about the cigarettes, it's about the law.
Oh.
You see that? That's what it's about. But if I'm defiled in the law, then guess what? The spirit ain't working with me. That Holy Spirit I'm trying to get, he ain't knocking at that door. Next. Read.
Which is your reasonable service.
Right. Your reasonable service is to present your body the right way. Not to just present it. Not to just present it, but again, what are we trying to do? Are we trying to live till we're 40 and then give up? Or are we trying to get the maximum effect through this life? Yeah, it should be the maximum, right? You got a lot of, listen, like you sisters deal with just natural things, menopause, right? You deal with menstrual cycles and things like that. Those things shouldn't affect your life to where now I'm having hot flashes and I'm having cold flashes and I'm like, that shouldn't be a part of your life. Extra heavy bleeding during your menstrual, those are signs. Extra super pain while you're having your menstrual cycle, that's a sign that something is wrong. That's a sign. Those are hormones that are not right. But guess what? When you get a bunch of meat that's already pumped full of hormones, little girls having their periods at 9, that ain't right. But why though? Because there's so much hormones in the food and it's interacting with her hormones. It triggers that cycle early. That's a sign. Right? We're going to talk about all that as the weeks go on. We're going to have some fun. Right? Where you at?
Verse 2. On Romans chapter 12, verse 2.
No, go to 3 John. The 3 John chapter 1 and verse 2. Hold it.
3 John chapter 1 verse 2.
Mm-hmm.
Beloved,
right?
I wish above all things,
come on,
that thou mayest prosper and be in health.
Be in what?
Health.
Go ahead.
Even as thy soul prospereth.
See that? So he's given a separation. The health, he's talking about your bodily health, so that your soul can prosper. You see that? Because again, if I'm weighed down in the body, it's going to weigh down my spirit. If I'm injured, if I'm ailed, if I'm inflamed in my body, guess what else is inflamed? Your brain.
Ooh.
You know, they tell you that your stomach is your second brain. They tell you got 2 brains, stomach and brain. There's something going on here. There's something going on here. A lot of us are foggy. Foggy thoughts. You can't remember things. Forget a lot. You got to work on that. Fasting, praying, asking the Most High remove the fogginess. But a lot of that, bro, it's just regular. It's just food we eat. All that damn sugar got you foggy. All that caffeine actually does the thing that you don't think it does, where it actually clouds your brain. It don't make you sharp. It don't wake you up. It actually clouds you. Right? All those synthetics that we eat, those things are clogging our stomachs, man, clogging our minds. Right? Go to Ephesians. Go to Ephesians 5 and 29.
Ephesians chapter 5, verse 29.
And Elijah, you're going to come with that Corinthians. Go ahead.
For no man ever yet hated his own flesh.
Go ahead.
But nourisheth it.
What do you do?
Nourisheth and cherisheth it.
What are you supposed to be doing with your flesh?
Nourisheth and cherisheth it.
Yeah, you're supposed to be happy about the flesh that the Most High put you in. Because remember, he didn't put you in the flesh that you're in now. You did that to yourself. So if you're unhappy with something about your flesh, well, it's something that you're doing. It's something that you're eating. It's something that you're drinking. It's the way you're thinking about food. It's the way you think about exercise. It's the way you think about discipline and lifestyle changes. It's you. The Most High gave us all the tools. He told us two things. He said herbs and then more herbs, right? Herbs is for this. Eat your meat and be in moderation. He gave us everything we needed. He said, look, herbs is going to fix it, but be in moderation. He gave us Genesis chapter 1. He laid it all right there. Right? He laid it all right there. He said he put all the herb bearing seed and the fruit yielding seed within itself. That's going to be for your meat. That's going to be for your medicines. But what's our issue? What's our issue? Some of us are too sick to even deal with herbs. Some of us are too toxic. Some of us are too far on one side to even let herbs be a thing where you got to go deal with that modern medicine. See, what I want to talk about and give y'all is the ways to be proactive in your life and do certain small, subtle changes to promote good health where you don't have to, again, go to the physician, right, for an actual issue. You might go and say, you know what, let me go get a checkup. Let me go get some blood work done. Let me go check my testosterone. Let me check this. Let me check my vitamin B levels. Let me check my vitamin D levels. Let me check these different things to see if I'm in. And then you got to understand what the levels should be. Right? A male, I was telling him about testosterone in males. It's down like 40% over the last couple of years. Right? A male's testosterone should be somewhere in the 1200s. The average male testosterone today is in the 300s. 300s. So what does that mean? Well, if you understand what testosterone affects, right? That affects a man's sexual health. That affects his ability to reproduce. But it also affects his mental health. You got a lot of men that are lazy, right? But their testosterone is low. That testosterone is what gets you out there. It's what pushes you, right? But then also we know you got to have the spirit, right? You got to have the spirit of the Most High to really get you out there. But if your physical body can't handle the workload, then you're going to break down anyway. That's what it is. So you got to be, because remember, we're in the physical. Our physical bodies is what get us out there. But if my physical body is broke down, then how am I going to get out there? It's going to be more couch, more bed than anything, right? But they're putting things in the food to affect a man's testosterone. GMO weed. That old weed you can buy, and you thought like, oh, they're selling us the good stuff? Y'all got bamboozled. That's why they sold it to you. That's why they sold it to you. And they gave you video games and all that stuff to get a man sitting down on the couch and not being active, right? You got little boys, their testosterone is like at an 80. They measure little kids' testosterone at an 80. That's like so low, but that's why they're so effeminate. That's why when you talk to them and you raise your voice, what happens? They crumble. They crumble, right? And then a lot of women, guess what you have too much of? Too much estrogen in your system, right? And that's an imbalance, and that causes, estrogen is what causes those growths in the uterus or on the ovarian walls, like fibroids. Yeah, I'm gonna talk about that. Fibroids, that's an over imbalance of estrogen, right? Those are like non-cancerous growths. Yeah, but they're painful for some women. Some women don't even know they have them. They don't know what's going on, but estrogen is a hormone, remember. When they're putting that in the food, when they're putting that in the environment, and then you already have it in you, but now it's overbalanced, it's going to cause some abnormalities in your body. You got to be understanding of what's going on with us, right? So where you at?
Last precept.
Right?
Even as the Lord, the church.
Right. From there, go to that Corinthians that I wanted.
1 Corinthians chapter 3 and verse 16. Know ye not that ye are the temple of God?
Right.
And that the Spirit of God dwelleth in you?
Yeah, but how can it dwell in you? Go ahead.
If any man defile the temple of God.
If any man do what?
Defile the temple of God.
Now we know what that defilement is going into, right? That's going into doing things that are just unlawful. The defiled foods, the defiled drinking, the defiled situations, right? Defiled sex. We know about all that. Go ahead.
Him shall God destroy.
Well, really, what's going to happen? Well, he's going to be destroyed through what's defiling him, right? What's going to happen to a person that just gives their life to baconators? More than likely, they're going to get high blood pressure, hypertension, and some type of worm, right? Bad drinking, a lot of sugar. Well, we know what's going to happen. They're going to lose their teeth, lose their limbs. C'est la vie. Diabetes, hypertension. I keep mentioning those things because those things are plaguing us at the highest levels. High blood pressure or hypertension is killing us. Hypertensive. That means what? The word is tense. That means your arteries are tense and they're hyperly tensed, right? They're hypertense to where now you got so much calcium in the blood, in your veins, in your vessels, your heart got to work harder to pump that blood through. But your arteries are just filled with calcium. Calcium belongs in your teeth and bones. Y'all know that, right? Calcium don't belong in your arteries, right? You know, when you get a heart attack, usually what it is a piece of calcium breaks off, goes through the stream, blocks the heart. But why do you have calcium in your arteries? Because because we're mineral deficient. Magnesium helps to distribute the calcium back to your teeth and bones. It pulls it out of the blood and takes it to where it needs to go. Magnesium, we're all magnesium, zinc, potassium deficient. It's guaranteed. It's guaranteed, right? Now, I'm going to show y'all something. Standard American diet. Take those three first letters and what does it spell?
Sad.
Sad. It's a sad ass diet. Standard American diet is 70% processed food. 70% processed food, 15% corn, 15% starch. That's terrible. That's terrible. If it comes in some plastic, bag, box, you gotta stop. You gotta stop it, right? Lesson number 4. My favorite. And one that none of us gets enough of. Rest. This is highly important. Okay, so what is the purpose of sleep? Excuse me. What's the purpose of sleep?
Recharge or regenerate your body.
Right. It's to give the body a chance to stop what it's been doing for 16 hours. Man, that's not enough. Right? Or 20 hours for some of us. And give it a chance to recharge. It gives your brain a chance to stop. Right? And refresh itself. It's like anything. Why did the Most High give us a Sabbath? For what? For rest. What were you going to say, Kylie? For rest, right? The Most High was, he was smart enough to know, man, they're going to need some rest. Cut all work, right? Let them get a day of rest. How come we don't look at sleep as an important thing? Some of us do, but you know what? Lack of self-control. Who got a TV in their bedroom? Right. So that's a no-no. That's number one, right? Because what happens is this. I got to go to sleep. I need to go to sleep. 12 a.m. Got to be up early, but I got to finish this show. The Netflix be, and if you want a good series, oh, you get thirsty. You're like, man, one more episode. And you like, man, I'm a watch. You like, damn, 4 more episodes. It's 4 a.m, right? The phone next to the bed, right? The phone next to the bed. It does what? It prevents, because you about to. I'm guilty. I'll be sitting there ready. I'll be halfway in the covers, and I'm setting the alarm on the phone. And as I'm setting it, I'm going to Facebook. And I'm putting the phone down, and I pull it right back up, and I'm just scrolling like, oh damn. Right? Then I lay in the bed and I'm like, oh, snap. And I'm just scrolling and I look up, I'm like, only gonna get 3 hours, right? Rest is highly important. Athletes, they tell you the most detrimental part of their training, LeBron, right? Why is LeBron's body, why is he able to do what he does at 40 years old? Right? Why is he able to do that? He tells you that the most important part of his training is his recovery. His rest, sleep, right? So let's see if the Bible talks about sleep. Because we know, this is not your rest, right? We know this ain't our rest. We know that this is not our final resting place, not America. But does the Bible say don't sleep? Psalms 127:2. So I'm 127. Read. I'm gonna get me some sleep, damn it. I'm sorry. I'm getting old, and I be needing some sleep, right? But then sometimes I gotta fight the sleep. I gotta fight that sleep demon. I had a sleep demon on me coming up here. I'm like, oh no, I'm tired. When 6 a.m. hits, that's our wake up time, right, babe? Go ahead.
The book of Psalms, chapter 127, verse 2.
Right? Read.
It is vain for you to rise up early.
Come on.
To sit up late.
You rise early, you sit late. Go ahead.
To eat the bread of sorrow.
Then it's all sorrow. You're like, man, damn, you just in sorrow for 20 hours. Go ahead.
For so he giveth his beloved sleep.
But the Most High, he said he giveth his beloved sleep. Right? He'll give you that rest. Right? Go from there. Go to Psalms 4 and 8.
Yeah, sleep is important.
It's very important.
When you read in Job, it talks about how, we don't always talk about it, but it talks about how the Most High took away even the sleep.
Yeah.
He wasn't able to sleep comfortably.
The sleep is the escape. It's a little bit of a escape from the day to day, right? And sometimes you don't even get that because them dreams, they're so vivid. But this is the thing with sleep. Even with the dreams, you guys have some phenomenal dreams. But the point about sleep is this, and we're gonna talk about sleep too in a class. Again, if I'm stuffing my guts, like I'm gonna tell y'all straight up, I'm hungry as a mug right now. The last food I ate was like at 1. So I am mucho hungry. Right? And usually my routine is I'll leave here. I'll go home. I'll be like, babe, don't make me nothing. And I walk in. I'm like, damn, who's cooking something? And I get 2 plates. And then I walk to the bed, coughing up a lung. And my rib's like, babe, what's wrong? And I'm like, it was the cheese. Then I lay in the bed. I'll fall asleep. And then an hour later, I wake up coughing. I'll wake up coughing and I'm like reaching for the water. then I pound out a bunch of water, then I pass back out, and 2 hours later I wake up, restroom. Sleep is trash. Because once you break that sleep, it doesn't matter if you do it one time. Your sleep is disrupted. Sleep wasn't meant to be broken. Once you woke up, you were supposed to just wake up. Remember the time when you used to wake up in the morning and have to pee? Bladder be full. That'll actually wake you up. Yeah, you woke up like, oh, and then you go, and then you're like, oh, and then you're up, right? But that 2 a.m. pee, right? That 3 a.m, or sometimes 3 times in a night? Oh, bro, come on now. Forget about it. On top of trying to digest food while you're sleeping, sleep it's automatically going to be bad sleep. You're automatically going to wake up and feel what? Like you didn't get no rest. You slept, your eyes closed, right? But your body did not rest. And if your body, you know how much energy it takes to break down food? Sometimes it's better not to eat. Because you burn calories, you use energy to break down food. What's that?
There was this dude today, was me and Rob, big swole cat, but he's like lean. He's like lean swole. He was saying that he doesn't eat anything past 6. Nothing past 6 so he can let his body rest up.
Yeah. And he's smart. Usually what it is, I guess the thing is 4 hours before your bedtime, don't eat nothing. It takes about a good solid 4 hours for you to break down food and digest and for your system to stop, right? But this is the problem. We got these schedules, right? We up in here. Corey ain't got no groceries before class. I ain't getting no groceries. A lot of us ain't getting no groceries, right? So the first thing on our mind is food.
Come on, sir.
But the first thing that should be on our mind is self-control, discipline, temperance, faith. You're not going to, first of all, your body was made to not eat. Don't y'all know that? Yeah. See, this is the thing. When just think about it like this. A person that smokes cigarettes is always thinking about what? The next cigarette, right? Because they're what? Say the word.
Addicted.
They're what?
Addicted.
Right. So if you're always thinking about food or when's the next time I'm gonna eat, aren't you not addicted? The majority of us are addicted to food. Why? Because we have it at the ready. We can just go into a fridge. We can have it stored up, stockpiled. Remember the times when we didn't have things just stockpiled, when you had to go out and kill something fresh, eat it all, burn it up, come back the next day? We wasn't just eating 18 meals a day back in the ancient times. We didn't consume our lives with eating. That wasn't it, right? The Bible says the kingdom of heaven is more than meat and drink. So we weren't just eating all the time and weighing down our system. And then when it's time to sleep, you ain't getting no rest, right? So Psalms 4:8.
Psalms chapter 4 verse 8. I will both lay me down in peace,
right,
and sleep.
But some of us don't get that peaceful sleep. Right. That restorative sleep is supposed to be the nightly restoration of your body. Because this is the thing. If you're using all your energy to break down food, that means you're not using any energy to repair those bad cells. You know what the main thing is being repaired when you sleep? What's the main thing that's being repaired? It's your brain. Your brain, it sheds all those bad cells. That's when you get to replenish. So sleep is very important, man. Sleep is the one thing that, listen, if you're hurt, what do they tell you?
Rest.
Get rest. When you're sick, what does your body naturally do?
Sleep.
But before that, what does it do? What does a dog do when a dog is asleep? When a dog is sick? It stops what? That's how you know the dog is sick. You're like, oh, Fido ain't eating today. What's wrong with him? And then what does Fido do? He won't eat. He'll wait a few days. He'll hide in the corner. He'll be sick. You ain't got no money to take him to the vet. You're like, damn, man, you have to tough this out. Don't he go to the front yard? Y'all ever had a dog that go to the front yard and start eating the grass? Because what does that grass make them do? It makes them vomit or take a dump, because that's their way to get some herbs. Dogs know this. Dumb dogs know, okay, when I'm sick, don't eat and then go get me some herbs to flush. We're like, oh, I'm sick? You know what? Might as well just make it a thing, right? Might as well. I'm sick, so guess what? You know what, babe? I ain't feeling good. Go ahead and get 2 pizzas with pineapple, some buffalo chicken with those wild fries. Get all the. If I'm sick, I might as well go all the way in and be just sick, right? I already got mucus. Might as well get the dipper, the ranch, the blue cheese, all of it. His thing is the honey mustard. Get that honey mustard mixed with the Chick-fil-A sauce, with the Chipotle sauce, all that.
$1,000.
$1,000.
Wow.
But see, that's the thing. It's like, we add to the sickness instead of saying, wait a minute, our bodies is telling us chill. We don't take the cues from our body.
That's what happened to me when I got sick last week.
Yeah.
It's like I didn't want to eat anything. For like 4 days I didn't eat anything.
And hopefully you took the cues and didn't try to force feed yourself.
Nah, I didn't.
Did you finish?
No.
Read.
For thou, Lord, only makest me dwell in safety.
Psalms 23 and 2. We go here. We love this one. Psalms 23 and verse 2 and verse 3. Somebody else get me Proverbs 3:24. Read.
Book of Psalms chapter 23 and verse 2.
Right.
He maketh me to lie down in green pastures.
In safety. Go ahead.
He leadeth me beside the still water.
He slows things down around me. Go ahead.
He restoreth my soul.
Wait, what happens?
He restoreth my soul.
Yeah, because that safety, that peace, that rest is a restoration for the soul. Not just the soul, but for the body. Read.
He leadeth me in the paths of righteousness.
Come on.
For his name's sake.
What's the next one?
Yea, do I walk?
No. What's the next scripture? That's it.
Proverbs chapter 3, verse 24.
Come on.
When thou liest down, thou shalt not be afraid.
Come on.
Yea, thou shalt lie down, and thy sleep shall be sweet.
Because that's what we need. We need that good restorative sleep. Sleeping is the process of restoring the body. That's all it's for. Not to break down your food, not to digest water. Sleep is to rest your body and allow it to repair itself. Y'all get that? Right. One more. Let's hit number 5 and then we're going to be up out of here. Lesson 5. Overcoming temptations and addictions. Lesson 5. Overcoming temptations and addictions. 1 Corinthians 10:13.
1 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 13. There have no temptation taken you, but such as is common to men.
Right, and this is what we got to remember, that the temptations that we face, they're not uncommon. You're not the only one going through what you're going through. Stop with the soap opera. Like, no one understands me. No, we all understand you. You know why? Because we've all been there at different times in our life. It's not uncommon to be tempted. It's not uncommon to want to have goals, and temptation comes and tries to knock you off the horse. It's not uncommon, and you got to understand that. Stop with the soapy, the sob story, and just fight. Go ahead.
But the Most High is faithful.
See, the problem is the Most High is faithful, but we're not. We're the faithless. We're the infidels. The Most High is faithful enough to walk you up to that temptation and give you the way out. But guess what it's about? What is it? What does temptation always, what does it lead back to? We talked about it earlier. I'm tempted to touch. What do I need to have to not touch? Self what? Because my fingers are mine. If I'm touching something that don't belong to me, that's on me. So I got to work on my self-control and my discipline, right? Right. But the Most High is faithful to say, look, temptation, the road to temptation, but then there's choices on that road. There's a fork in the road. I can go left or I can go right. What's that?
tell me I got some snow cones.
Okay, she about to tell them y'all. You want to tell y'all I got some snow cones and what?
And there was some candy on the straw.
Uh-huh.
But I didn't have candy. It was gelatin.
So you didn't eat it?
No, but I was hesitating too.
Ooh, she said she hesitated. But you didn't eat it, right? Right. See, temptation. Fork in the road. Get that gelatin up out of here. Or she could have went down the jelly road and defiled her temple. Right? She made the right choice because guess what? She's not the first one to be faced with that. How many times you done, again, you eating the kimchi, it's healthy, it's good, it's so tasty. And you like, why is this so good? And you look at the back and it says shrimp juice. And you like, bruh, is that what's making the kimchi taste like heaven? And you got a decision to make. Do you continue to chew what's in your mouth and swallow it? Or do you take what's on the fork already out the jar and put that in your mouth and eat it? Or do you put the whole thing down, spit out what's in your mouth and repent? Some cats would have took that next fork bite. some cats would have drank the juice like, oh well. Now I'll do better next time, right? Most High over here, I already messed up. But no, you spit out what's in your mouth, you drop the fork. That's what I had to do. But I ain't gonna lie, I was like, some good stuff. Like, I was like, man, stop, bro. You know better. Right into the compost. Oh no, I don't think I composted that because it had the shrimp stuff. I didn't even compost that. Right? Go ahead.
Who will not suffer you to be tempted
right
above that ye are able.
And I always say that your temptation, that's supposed to match the knowledge that you have. Your temptations match your knowledge. And if you fall to your temptations, that means you didn't use your knowledge properly. That's it. You didn't apply the proper knowledge to get wisdom. Read on.
But will with the temptation
go ahead
also make a way to escape.
Right. With that same temptation, there's a door that you're just not looking at because you're caught up in the temptation. Go ahead.
That ye may be able to bear it.
Matthew 26 and verse 41. 1 Peter 5 and 8. Galatians 5:16. Hebrews 2 and 18. Write them down and somebody grab them. Matthew 26:41. Read.
Matthew chapter 26 verse 41. Watch and pray.
Go ahead.
That ye enter not into temptation.
Wait, what do I got to do to not enter the temptations?
Watch and pray.
Read it again.
Watch and pray.
You said what?
Watch and pray.
Yeah, you got to watch, be sober, be vigilant, watch, be circumspect. But then I got to pray. Go ahead.
That ye enter not into temptation.
Why? Go ahead.
The spirit indeed is willing.
Yeah, because the spirit is willing to do the right things. Paul talked about this in Romans 7. About the battle between the spirit and the flesh. Right? The good that I would, I do not. And that I would not, that I do. He so eloquently dropped that, man. Right? The spirit is willing. Go ahead.
But the flesh is weak.
But the flesh is weak. And that's what we're dealing with is how do we strengthen these fleshly temptations? Well, it all goes back to that discipline. It all goes back to that temperance. Next scripture. First Peter's.
First Peter chapter 5, verse 8.
Go ahead.
Be sober.
Be sober, sober-minded, sound-minded, right? He didn't give us a spirit of fear, but a spirit of a sound mind and peace. Go ahead.
Be vigilant.
Watch. Be circumspect. Look around. Know your surroundings. Read.
Because your adversary, the devil,
right,
as a roaring lion, walketh about, seeking whom he may devour.
And a lot of the times, man, we get devoured by our temptations. Our temptations be overcoming us at the highest levels. But remember, that's on you. The Most High said he gives you a way out with that same temptation. But see, again, if you're blinded by the temptation, then you're not going to see the way out. If you want to give in to your temptation, you're not going to see the way out. You're just going to go with the temptation. Go ahead.
Verse 9. Whom resist steadfast in the faith.
He said, do what?
Resist Steadfast in the faith.
Fighting temptations is to resist. You have to resist steadfastly in the faith. Well, how do I get the faith? Well, remember, diligence, virtue, temperance, faith, patience. Remember all that? Yeah. Right. See how so I can build my faith through being diligent, through being consistent. You see that? Go ahead.
Knowing that the same affliction.
Knowing that the what?
Same affliction.
Yeah, knowing that there's no temptation that is uncommon. Go ahead.
Are accomplished in your brethren that are in the world.
Right. What is he letting us know? That we all got to go through these temptations. But guess what? Is everybody getting overcome? No. He's letting you know that right here. The same afflictions are being accomplished in your brethren. So what does that mean? Well, I got to look to the brethren to see how are they fighting their temptations. How are they holding up? Right? Hebrews, what did I want? Galatians 5:16.
Galatians chapter 5, verse 16.
Right?
This I say then.
Come on.
Walk in the spirit.
Right. That same spirit that you're supposed to house in that nice, glistening temple. You're supposed to walk in that spirit. But if I don't take care of certain things on a carnal level, the spirit ain't going to rock with me. So I can't walk in a spirit that's not around me. I can't walk in something that I'm not promoting. Right? I got to promote a good spirit. I got to promote righteousness. I have to let these things come from me. Read on.
And ye shall not fulfill the lust of the flesh.
And you shall what?
Not fulfill the lust of the flesh.
Because one is going to override the other. The spirit, mind over matter. The spirit should override the flesh. Give me Hebrews 2:18.
Look at Hebrews chapter 2 and verse 18.
Do 17 real quick.
Verse 17.
Right.
Wherefore, in all things, it behooved him to be made like unto his brethren.
Right. It's speaking of Yahweh Shai. Go ahead.
That he might be a merciful and faithful high priest in things pertaining to God.
Go ahead.
To make reconciliation for the sins of the people.
Right.
For in that he himself have suffered, being tempted.
He did what?
Being tempted.
Why was he the mediator? Because what?
Suffered being tempted.
Go ahead.
He is able to succor them that are tempted.
Right, because he's the one that we look to. Yahweh Shai, Christ, he's the one that we look to when it comes to temptation. And we could see, oh, well, damn, he was always provoked. How come he didn't go upside the head of these Pharisees? Why did he check Peter when he cut off the centurion's ear? Why didn't he stone the woman when she got brought in adultery? Why did he deal with this situation like this or that? Why didn't he call down fire from heaven? It was many situations where it could have been brimstone and fire. And what did he do? The Son of Man came not to destroy men's lives, but to save them. He without sin cast the first stone. Right? Live by the sword, die by the sword. Let me heal this man real quick. So he shows us how to deal with the tempting of anger. Right? The tempting of shame. Being put to shame. Right? Even dealing with food and drink. Yahweh Shai showed us. Right? He wasn't walking around like how the Pharisees said, drunk and fat from just eating all damn day. That's not how he rolled around. That's not how he rolled around. He showed us how to deal with the Son of Man has no place to live, to lay his head. Right? He showed us how to go through those things and not let the temptation of being overburdened with sorrow bring us down. Right? So it's 9/11. That's it. I want to get through those 5 points. I got 5 more points. That's why this is a part 1. I got 5 more points. We can probably do it next week. And like I said, this is just like a generalized class on overall just healthy habits. And then what we get to do is go into more pinpoint situations on health. All right. So this is a little thing I want to put together and do. All right. So any questions on what we went over? Yeah, they were saying a few things online. Talking about how KFC is cloned. That's why it's called KFC and not Kentucky Fried. They had to drop that name. Clone fried chicken. Yeah, Kentucky Fried Clone Chicken.
right? But yeah, I mean, hopefully y'all online paid attention, took some good notes. I know I talk a little fast, but just hit rewind. Hit rewind. Make sure you're sharing the class. Our people definitely need to be dealing with their health, man. They definitely need to get on top of it because remember, if we ain't around to even teach the next generation, then what are we doing? All right. So just a reminder to brothers and sisters, to the brothers, get your garment money in. Make sure you guys help out by liking and sharing whatever content we put out. Just share it, man. Just throw it on your social media. Or, you ain't got to like send it directly to your family, but just share it. Like, throw it to your social media. You never know. It might edify someone. We ain't doing it for nothing, but see it. We're putting out a few videos and we only got like 2 views. So, well, you're not asking for much. Just hit the retweet, right? Hit the repost. That's it. Yeah, but other than that, I want to thank everybody for joining us. Everybody online, let's say shalom.
Shalom.
We'll see y'all back here next week.
Chilling up in the kingdom, chilling with Yahweh Shai and all the brothers and the sisters.